Okay, what we got on screen right now, this is what you got wrong. So for the most part, you did well. The augmenta is definitely the struggle. So let's go through one at a time, of course. So the A sharp major chord. So before I say this, remember you have those theory rules when you are going to spell out the notes of chords. You're using a major scale. You got to use all 7 note names no matter what. So, no matter what, A sharp being the root note, okay? So the one position number 1 has to be A something. In this case, A sharp. The 2 position has to be B something. 3rd position has to be C something. 4th position has to be D something. 5th position has to be E something. Well, that worked. Absolutely. Absolutely. Unfortunately, let's put it this way. For the A major chord, you said it was A, C sharp, and E. That's correct. So if you sharp everything, A becomes A sharp. That's correct. Well, C sharp sharpened does not become C. That would be flatting it. So, probably should have had this already. So if you got your A, C sharp, E, the way you said A sharp was spelled out, you would have A, C sharp, E sharp. So hopefully you can see this being correct. It's rather different interval structure, right? You wrote it as a 1, 2, and a 5. But, I mean, the way it's spaced anyway, the spelling's not quite there. So, instead of telling you what all the answers are here, I'm going to do what I like to do. Teach you how to fish instead of giving you that fish. So think about it. Yes, this has to be C something. But it's definitely not C. So, it may end up being something you've never heard of before. But I want you to think of it this way. If the 3 notes that make the A major chord, which you got correct, if the 3 notes are A, C sharp, and E, you have to add a sharp to everything. That's your hint. If you sharp everything from an A to an A sharp, all 3 notes in the A major chord need to be sharpened again. So if you go from A to A sharp major, add a sharp to everything. See if that tips you off there. D flat minor. So, again, you got to skip every other note basically, because D flat to E, that doesn't work, because D is in the 1 position, in this case D flat. So in the 2 position it has to be E something. In the 3rd position has to be F something. Now the way you play it, there's your D flat, there's the flat 3rd, and there's the flat 5. I can tell you that normally you would call that an E, but the correct spelling of the 3 notes that make a D flat minor chord, that's not correct. It's got to be something else. So if you look at the D minor chord, you did spell correctly. You spelled the D minor as D, F, A. Well, if you're just going to take a D minor chord and flat it, that means everything is flatted. Flat everything. There's your hint. Okay, moving on to your F diminished. So right here again, you have an A and then a B. In this case, an A flat and then a B. So it's the 5th interval, or in this case, the flat 5. It can't be a B something, because the 4th interval is going to be using the B note name. So, in fact, wait a tick. Yeah, okay. So this is another instance where typically you would call it a B, but it's got to have a different name in order to have it spelled correctly. And in case you're wondering, why the hell does it matter? This is just about keeping things in uniform, making sure every note is accounted for. This way we don't have like 3 different types of Fs or 3 different types of Gs. There are some chords in here that I put in on purpose, and I always give people these things. I do it on purpose to make you think, and make sure that you understand this stuff better and really understand interval structure as best as you can. So I tried to mess with your head on purpose. It worked, so now we got to get you thinking even further with it. The B flat diminished. Yes. So you said B, D flat, and E. So again, got to skip every other note name. This can't be E something here. E is reserved for the 4th spot, because if you're counting up B, C, D, E, F, B, skipping C to D something. In this case, we're going B flat, skipping C to D something, and then we skip E to F something. It's got to be F something. I don't know why I put a comma there. So yeah, look what you put for B for the B diminished. You got the B diminished chord right. So again, if you flat the entire thing, you flat everything in that chord. So there's that hint again. E flat diminished. So you had E flat. Well, yeah, that's just not right. Just double check that one, because the way you have the notes put out there, you basically, let me put it this way. Look at what you wrote for an E flat major chord, because you got that right. Look at the E flat major chord and then compare it to what you have for the E flat diminished. Goodness, never mind. I forgot to put in something. You're probably looking at me like, what are you talking about? I didn't put that. Fucking I. Alright, I'm going to change my mind. Or, not change my mind. I'm going to change what I said. Check your, well, no, that's not going to be quite right either. Is E diminished in here? Yeah. Yeah, look what you put for your E diminished chord, because you got that right. I'll give you a hint on this. You wrote the same note twice for the 3 notes that make a E diminished. You wrote one of those notes again for the E flat diminished. So think about that. See if that hint helps you out. You might have to use something you've never heard of before. You may have heard of it. I know I'm being very cryptic here, and it might be a little difficult trying to get you to rationalize what the heck it is, doing the video back and forth, but just give it your best shot, and yeah, we'll just see how it goes. So I want you to go through these missed ones again, and just give it your best shot, see if you can correct any of them, and then we'll go from there. So the augmented stuff, yeah, you got the F augmented and the D flat augmented correct. So this is another case of, yeah, it's normally called an F, but it's not the correct spelling of that note name, because you got your A in the 1 position, B is in the 2 position, C something is in the 3rd position. In this case, it has to be a C sharp. So in the 4th position, it has to be D something. The 5th position has to be E something. F something is in the 6th position. So it can't be F. Gotta name it something else. The B augmented. Let's see. Yeah, this is another one that's a thinker. Normally you would call that a G, but again, you're skipping E and F to label that G, so it has to be F something here. for the sharp 5. And then the B flat augmented. Same thing. Now, this is the hint I'll give you here. I said, and you did understand this, which is good, that you can't mix sharps and flats when you're in a major scale. But remember, the augmented chord is never found in a major scale. Major triad is, minor triad, diminished triad is. Augmented doesn't happen. So if you look at the triad explanation sheet I think I sent it. I better have. We're having you do this. Remember you look at the highlighted Roman numeral stuff on there. Look at that. You'll have highlighted Roman numerals for the major chord, highlighted Roman numerals for the minor, one highlighted Roman numeral for the diminished. Nothing for the augmented. There's no highlighted Roman numeral for the augmented. So there's your hint. It doesn't occur at a major scale. So it's a little bit of a difference on this guy. The B sharp augmented is definitely a big time thinker. So again, you have to use every other note name there. So the B sharp is right, but you skip C to D something, so it can't be E. Then you skip E to F something, so it can't be G sharp. So some of these, again, will require more thought than others, but give it your best shot, see how you do. So these are the ones to correct, and I will await your answers.